everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Petri Dish. Today, we're sitting down with Devolutions. And Devolutions, David? It's a nice little name there. How's it going on your side? What's going on in the world of Devolutions today?
Hello, Brad. It's going very well on our side. I'm David, founders of Devolutions. We are a company. Our main product is Remote Desktop Manager, a product to centralize all your remote connection, SSH tunnel, any technology that you want into one centralized database that you can give different access levels. So we're a young company, but everything is going very well on our side.
Why don't we just dive in right there? Can you talk a little bit more about your product, and why should a company who's looking for a solution in this space, why should they look to you all?
We started as a tools to just manage remote connection, and with the time, we decided to provide more solutions. So we all target IT people, and we all know that it's important to have a secure connection and share connection. So in a nutshell, what we do, we want to make sure that every IT people in your company have an access to the connection without the knowledge of the actual password. Many products like KeePass, LastPass will be good to centralize the credential, the password. But the difference with our product and why you will choose Remote Desktop Manager, it's because it's not only the password that we manage, it's the connection. So for example, I can give you access to one of our server, and the next day, because you're fired, because you leave the company, because you get a promotion, I will remove this access. But it will still be available for the others. And the difference with most of the product, they manage well websites, but we can manage server, routers, connection, FTP, any type of connection. So the idea is to make sure that you get everything for IT people, which is our target market most of the time.
So if I understand you correctly, this is pretty interesting, and this is why I wanted to have you on. It's not just password management anymore. That is great for consumers, but it's not so great in the enterprise because, to your point, you need that connection. How does that encryption work, and can you talk about how that actually plays out?
We have a database behind, and if you use Devolution Server, you can also have a two-factor to access the server. And the server will return you the connection information that you need to open it, and we will mix it with the password. The good thing about Devolution is that we integrate many different technologies. It could be from Microsoft, from VMware, from Cisco, and it can also be from another credential providers like Secret Server. We also have CyberArk integrated, which means that you will still save your password into KeePass or into LastPass. But the day that you want to open a connection or share it for your company, we will provide the encrypted tunnel to extract this information. So everything is encrypted in the database with a secret key, and nobody has access to the real information if they don't have access to an authenticated session in Remote Desktop Manager. So it's very safe because instead of resetting the password like most of the PAM solution will do, what we do, we hide the password. And after that, if you want to change it because it's already stored in another vault, that's something that we do. So we work well with existing solutions and not just our own solutions, which is great because we know that sometimes people spend a lot of money in a solution in terms of price, but also in terms of deployment. So why replace it when you have already a good solution? But the problem is, if you want to do more than website and you want to make sure that nobody is able to copy the password into the clipboard, you want to use Remote Desktop Manager to avoid it.
Gotcha. So let's talk for a second about the end user experience. Obviously, this is great from the IT pro perspective, but how would I, as the end user who needs needs access, what am I going to see on my end?
It's simple. In our website or in the Remote Desktop Manager, you will see a tree with all your available connections. The only thing you have to do is double click on it. It will do the authentication. It will open the VPN for you if it's need to. But if, for example, you're at the office and you have a direct connection, you will have nothing to do. So it's pretty simple in terms of the user interface. We also offer for the IT management team more tools like remote PowerShell. But from an end user perspective, you don't want this. You want it keep it simple. This is something we offer with the server. If you only want to just view the password, that's something with the history that we can do. But the idea is to make sure that it's transparent in terms of the user experience. You don't want to know that you have to open a VPN to connect to this specific server. And the end user has a lot of websites, so we also integrate a browser extension in Chrome, Firefox, and all the different browsers to make sure that we get the password from the centralized database with all, it's interesting to have all the other things. Do you want to know who has been connected, how long has been connected? And for reporting, it's really important to have this information.
And then one other question. So mobile phones are obviously becoming a big deal. Are there mobile solutions? How does it work if you are, let's say, on iOS or Android?
Exactly the same solution, because we provide Remote Desktop Manager for iOS. And the greatest thing, it's a great tool to open SSH, RDP, Apple Remote Desktop Connection, and it's even free. You only have to pay if you want to use a centralized database. But if it's for your own usage, you create your local database that you could share on your phone and use it, and you will get a good solution. By the way, we are not good in terms of technology of remote connection. We are good at managing all the different technologies into Remote Desktop Manager. We integrate tools like TeamViewer, Screen Connect. We try to integrate as many technologies as possible. We also have our own connection types, which, for example, is more like a VNC, and our product is called Wake now. It's our own protocol, but most of the time we integrate existing protocol like Telnet. I could name a few, but there's so many different types of connection, and that's where we are good, integrating all those connections, even on the mobile phone. And Android and iOS are supported, by the way.
Very, very good. Last couple questions here. Can you talk about licensing for a minute? So if you are an enterprise customer and you're tempted to check this out, what's the business model here for getting this up and running inside of my company?
No, it's pretty simple. Usually the model, you start with the free edition, which a full features version, except that you can't create a database to centralize the information. So you could store it in a local SQL-like database or in a XML file, but usually you create your connection this way. But as you use it, you will see that there's many benefits in creating a centralized database. And for example, if you have 5 users, you need to buy 5 enterprise license. It's very affordable. It's a perpetual license with an optional renewal. And if you need an integration with the Active Directory and you need a two-factor, you can buy a server. The server is a little bit more expensive, but again, it's a very affordable solution. Our target market is really the IT department most of the time, and we know that security is really important for them, but it's also hard to get a huge budget. So we're talking about a few $100 per user, and even less than that, depending on the amount of licenses that you need.
And if people have questions about this, what's the best way to contact you?
We'll say if you have a question about the product, make sure to use our forum. We are very active on the forum, but you can also use our chat or go to devolutions.net. You get all the information. It's very simple. And we have a large community of users, and the blog is also a good place to get the information, not just about our product, but about everything related to the IT. By the way, we also have a cartoon, which is called Sysadminotaur. It's very funny. It's never about our products. It's really about what's going on in the IT world, and we are very proud of it. And it's free, by the way. If you want to register on the blog, you get every month a new comic strip. Very,
very cool. Well, I think we're going to jump over to Max now, and we're going to start talking about the big picture of the industry, what's going on at Devolutions, and life in general. Thank you for stopping by. Very much appreciated.
Thank you, Brad.
All right. While they do a quick transition here, you can check them out at devolutions.net. And one of the things that kind of caught my eye about this is his point that sharing passwords is one thing, but sharing that encrypted connection is the next weakest point, and they make sure that is all taken care of. And so we are going to jump over to Max, who is hopefully just about ready here.
Yep, I am. Hi, Brad.
Bam! Look at that.
Hey.
we hung the little magic black curtain, and Vamoose, there you are. So how's it going?
Doing great. Really excited to be here today with you.
So what brings you onto the Petri Dish?
What was the question?
I said, what brings you here? What made you kick David out of his seat?
Good question. I've been working with David for the last 6 years now. So we're really we've pretty much Devolution at the time was just getting started in 2012 when I arrived, and we've been working a lot on different solutions that we now provide to IT pros and organizations worldwide. And we just felt like Petri was a normal fit with our company. We've been following you guys for the last few years. The information you're providing is always on point, and we thought that your audience might like to know a bit more about Devolutions and what we have to offer.
No, and that's exactly it. One of the, taking a step back from what we were doing over on Petri Land is it's an interesting time, because a lot of people say, hey, look, Brad, we've got all these things, all these products in the marketplace, but I have no idea how to find them. I have no idea who to reach out to. I have no idea how to get demos, or even just know how to make a process that I don't like better. And that's what we're trying to do by highlighting quality companies that we have worked with, we know and trust, such as Devolutions. And that's why we like having you guys on, because you're right. What you guys are doing is exactly what our audience is looking for. And so, taking a step back, what kind of trends are you seeing at Devolutions? What are you seeing in the industry? What's going on in your world?
Well, we think that right now there are many different challengers in terms of security. And we feel like, there's a lot of education still to be made with the end users in terms of password management. And there are many great solutions out there for Profit 500 companies or for Fortune 500 companies for this larger enterprise customer. And we just feel like there's a gap in the market right now where, SMBs or SMEs, as you wish, all have the same preoccupation and the same challenges than these larger enterprise has, right? So for, let's say, a company 50 to 100, 150, 200 users, they have also the same challenges when it comes to password management. So we felt like, all right, there are solutions out there that are very comprehensive, and here's what we can bring to the market. So we feel like Devolution is, as a company and as a solution provider for the IT department and IT pros, IT staff, we felt like we've been working with these guys for the last 5, 6, 7 years. We've been providing remote desktop manager for remote connection and password management. Now, how can we solve their problems when it comes to managing passwords for their end users? And David mentioned Devolution Server, and we have other products coming in, but we really feel like there's a place in the market in the SMB, especially specifically for solutions like ours.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly why we are here, because to your point, when you're real tiny, it's easy to manage things, and then you grow up a little bit, and it gets a little bit harder to be like, you know what, this is manageable, we're fine, we're only 40 people. But then you make that jump to the next size up, and you're like, you know what, I'm spending all my time doing this menial task A, and there has to be a better way. And it sounds like Devolutions is very much falling right into that category of quite literally just finding a better way.
Well, we're taking our expertise that we've learned throughout the years in the IT department and pretty much bringing it to the entire organization. So David mentioned we have a very large community of users, and we're always listening to what they're saying. And we do we went to trade shows and conferences, and when we meet our users, the first question is, do you guys have a solution to manage passwords for my C-level or for my HR department or accounting department? Do you have something to offer? Because they've taken a look at the other solutions that are out there, but the price point for let's say 50, 100 users is just way too up there for a solution that we feel that we can provide for a fraction of the price.
Very, very cool. And so what else is going on with you guys? What's happening in your marketplace? I see you guys have a very active blog. I was actually just starting to browse it a little bit. What's happening at just quite literally at your company today?
Well, you know what? We've been growing pretty quickly for the past 3-4 years. We're now 80 employees coming in from, I would say, maybe 40 last year. So we've pretty much doubled the number of employees this year, mainly because we're working on the future right now. As I mentioned and David told you, we have many different solutions that are coming in. We have a product called Wake Now, who's going to be our own remote desktop protocol that we're going to launch early in January. So mainly, we've hired many new talent to work on the future of the company and make this transition from offering a very niche product in the IT department to the enterprise-wide and company-wide solutions, right? So we've hired many new talents. We're located just outside of Montreal here in Quebec. So we brought in many new employees. In terms of marketing, David mentioned, well, the Sis and Minotaur comic strip is very popular right now. You can see it on our blog at blog.devolutions.net. So we're working with our partners, such as you guys. We're working with our community to build this, this community around the product and this ecosystem all around Devolutions, so that we can spread the word and say, all right, here we are, guys. Here's what we have to offer, right? So I would say that we have a brand new office. We have many new people on board, many different products coming in for next year. And we just released RDM 13. So Remote Desktop Manager 13 just launched last week. So we try to do 1 to 2 major releases per year. So this is our first major release for 2017, 2018. And we have other updates also on Devotion Server and Wake Now coming in.
One of the things that I like that you keep mentioning, because typically you can tell the quality of something by how many people rally around it in the community. We very much believe this on Petri, which is why we use a community of writers to help fill things out, and we have a pretty large, just a gathering of people in the forums and all that stuff. And so when a product like yourselves, what you're talking about, actually has a forum and passionate people coming to use it, it's pretty much a guaranteed sign that you have a good product. And so for people checking that out, you can go, it sounds like we can go straight to your forums and get feedback from customers. There's no middleman. You just go right to them, and they'll let you know what's good, bad, and in between.
Exactly. We're always listening. We just, you know what? It's funny because last week we had our first annual meeting with some of our users and partners, and some of our friends were there. So we gathered people from all over the world. We brought them into Montreal, and we did our first Devolution Central user conference just for that very specific need, right? We wanted to be able to meet these guys and meet our community in person, because everything that's been happening here at Devolutions is pretty much online, right? So we've never had the chance to meet with our users from Germany, from Austria, from United States, from all over the world. So this was a great opportunity to finally meet our partners and our users from the Devolutions forum, from different community we have surrounding our products. So we had the chance to meet with them, ask them questions, gathered feedback from them. We did multiple workshops just to so they can learn more about the product. But the main reason was to get their feedback and see, all right, are we on the right track, guys? Here's what we have to offer. What do you have to say? And we just listen to them. And then we get back to the office, sit down, David, with the team, and then we say, all right, here's what we had from the feedback from our very own users. Now, here's what let's take a look at the roadmap and see, all right, is there some tweaks some things we need to adjust to the different solutions in terms of functionalities, of features, to be able to respond to their needs. So, yep, that was our first one this year, and it was pretty incredible.
No, that's good to hear. And before we hang it up here, is there anything else you want our listeners and readers to know?
the community that we've been working with throughout the years is a big part of our success. So if you want to learn more about our products, you can always come to our website, download different trials, and try the tools. But I would say the best way you can learn about what we're doing is by connecting with other users, and that can be done throughout different platforms, of course. But the Devotions Forum is a great place to connect with our users from all over the world, and you can ask them all the questions that you want. You can be part of this community, and you'll learn a lot about not only our products, but in IT, the industry in general. We have the blog. We have, of course, all the different social media platforms. We're on Spiceworks. And just come meet with us, meet with our users, and see what kind of solution we can bring to your organization.
Nothing says confidence like saying, hey, go talk to our customers before you talk to us. And exactly. I mean that genuinely, because that's the best way to sell a product. Everybody knows that word of mouth is everything, and the fact that you guys are doing so well clearly shows that your word of mouth is second to none at this point. So very much appreciate your time stopping by. I know you guys both had to take a little bit of time out of your very busy schedules. But that does it for today, folks, on the Petri Dish, where we like to highlight community solutions, and Devolutions is one of them. Go check them out. It's devolutions.net, and we'll be back here next time on the Petri Dish.